Hey everyone, welcome to this month's February 2022 Energy Insights. Um, my name is Jackie Ellis from JackieEllis.com. I'm an intuitive guided mentor and Reiki master. My friends call me an energetics master. I sound a little bit different today because I am still recovering from a psychic attack that took me down and was pretty scary beginning of last week. But I'm healing every day, and every day is getting better. So thank you all for sending me the love energy throughout the week, because it definitely has helped my healing progress. So much love to you all. I was finally able to actually spend a day outside of my bed yesterday. So when I was doing that, I took the time to explore what the energy insights were going to be for February and for the new moon week. So I will be doing that video as well, as long as my voice holds up. So for those of you that don't know how these work, that have just found me in some way, welcome. I get messages given to me by my guides, by the universe, and and I use those messages to help guide people to the energies that will be flowing in for the upcoming month and for the upcoming weeks. The new moon cycle is going to start on February 1st. So, how I do this is I will give an overall message for the month, as well as there are 6 other messages centered around the 6 pillars of life, which are your career, or your passion projects, um, your relationships, your health, your wealth or your quality of life, your personal development, and your spirituality. This month's messages were really interesting because um, January's were indicating a rocky month for many of us, and it was pretty bang on. I was shown that we would break free from a lot of constraints and things that had been set in the past, and the the bondage that people were under was strong, but those of us that um, do the healing and do the spiritual work in the realm where I call them gap warriors. Those of us that are gap warriors were kept very busy in the ether, um, helping clear those bonds, helping free people from their past, from the past of others that have set conditions for us to believe, and allowed us to actually step out of those constraints and those barriers and those bondages, and really explore how life would be going forward. Now, if you have spent years and generations in bondage, um, believing a certain thing about how society should be run, how governments should be, how financial systems should be, and even how, like, your own belief system in this around your spirituality. Having things revealed to you or released in a healing way can feel shaky, can feel very uncertain, can be very scary, and it can throw us for a loop. It can throw us for a loop if we're not certain on how we want to step into our life in some way. If we had expectations of how life should be, and it doesn't look that way, then all of a sudden we wonder where to go from here. We wonder, is it possible to create this life that I want to love if it doesn't look if it looks the way it looks now and it doesn't look the way I want it to look? Is that possible? Yes, it's possible. It's possible to create the feeling that you want to have when you are in that life. It is possible to have that life, that feeling now, even though it may not physically look like the life that you envision, because it's the feeling that makes life enjoyable. It's the feeling of freedom. It's the feeling of joy and love and peace and understanding and acceptance. Acceptance that this is a journey. It's lovingly acceptance that this is a journey. And we are taking steps one day at a time. One moment at a time. The loving energy for February, and not just because Valentine's Day is coming. My guides wanted to make sure that you knew that. There's always loving energy, but there is an abundance of loving energy that's coming through for February. And not just because it's Valentine's Day. I'm just going to keep my hot water close because I don't want to be coughing lots. I've got cough drops just in case. And yeah. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. The loving energy is flowing more than ever before as more of us have learned to lovingly pause before reacting. We are now pausing and reflecting on our own emotions, our own thoughts, our own feelings before we react to a situation. And that's actually helping the energies throughout the world. It's sending positive ripple effects through the world because we aren't dividing ourselves as much anymore. We aren't, there isn't as much division as there once was. And I'm going to tell you that, like, I, for one, had a very trying month for January. I'm sure I'm not the only one. If you had a trying month for January, please, join me in the comments. But know that and celebrate that February won't be as trying for people. Many of us broke free from constraints. Many of you got the help of us healers to break free of those constraints and release the chains of the past. And some of those chains of the past were not known to you. Some of those chains of the past were not known to your ancestors. Some of those chains of the past were not were there for thousands of years, and you didn't realize it. You didn't understand, but you're free of it now. You're free of it now. And so we are now being asked to be willingly accept the loving energy that's flowing now, flowing to us now. Knowing that this is happening, um, knowing that what we've gone through individually, and we can imagine what other people that are on their own individual journey may have been going through. And they may not have released as much, or knowing that they had released anything, and might be floundering a bit. They might have been shook up by things that things that came up for them over the month of January, and maybe stuff was said that was maybe the person didn't pause and reflect on themselves as much as they could have, and it came out harsh, and it caused some tension in the relationship. If you reflect on what January was for you, and the growth that you personally had, it gives us a sense of acceptance that we are growing and expanding as an individual person, and it's part of the journey, and we lovingly made it through January. And when we embrace that, it makes it easier for us to accept the fact that everyone else is on their own journey, and they sometimes don't have an easy time with it either. Sometimes they struggle, and sometimes, things are said, and we're all just trying to get through this the best that we can with the tools that we know we have. Some of us are making it through it with the tools that we don't know we have. And if we look at this as a way of, we know that we were loved through this by universe, then we know that they are loved just as much as we are. And if we try and just place that seed within us, it will help us through the remaining part of this year as we expand and grow even further. And our relationships will start to flourish in a much healthier way than they ever have before. The division is definitely becoming smaller. I'm going to talk about career next. Now, career to me is not only your job, but it also could be like a passion, hobby of yours, something that's deeply connected to who you believe that you are, it brings out positive things about yourself, and allows you to really, you get up in the morning and you're excited about your day, or you get home from work and you're excited to really get working on your passion, what you're really passionate about. I want you to, that's what I'm talking about in this section. What I'm being told is that we need to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward and adapting to situations as they arise. Leave the past weights that you were holding, that you were dragging along behind you. Leave them behind. Learn to trust yourself. Like the past weights that I'm talking about, those are the ones that bring up doubts, that bring up worries, that bring up anxiety, that bring up overwhelm. It's the I shoulda, coulda, woulda thoughts. That stuff, leave it behind. acknowledge that that's what you were holding, and just kind of like imagine yourself taking it out of that backpack that you have on you, and dropping it on the ground, or leaving the baggage that you've been carrying and drop it, because you don't need it anymore. Learn to trust yourself one step at a time, feeling secure in the path that you're creating, being the path that you've chosen. Be willing to get curious about new opportunities, new approaches, new ways of doing things, because that curiosity is a protective openness that allows the creative energy to expand your thoughts and beliefs. And I'm going to repeat that, because when I was given that sentence, that thought, that message, it blew my own mind. So I'm going to say it one more time. Curiosity has a protective openness that allows the creative energy to expand your thoughts and beliefs. A protective openness. So when we say we have an open mind, we need to have an open mind. Well, a closed mind is there's walls. There's protective walls, and we're not wanting to see past them. An open mind is great, but if you have an open mind, then you also may be opening, like you may energetically just open your bubble at the same time when you want to have an open mind. And that's not what we want to do. We don't want to envision ourselves being open to everything, because open, if it means what I'm envisioning open to be, it's like wide open for everything. All those energies, all those people's fears and anxieties and worries and stuff, and then you collect it and start feeling worried and anxious and upset for no reason at all, and that sort of thing. Curiosity is a protective openness, so it allows you to be open, but not from, like, your protective bubble is still there, because you don't necessarily need to say yes to what's there. You just need to be curious enough to explore. And then you get to choose whether or not you head down that direction, or do that different way of thing, whatever it is, that new way of doing it, because it could turn out better than what you thought. If things get challenging and you feel out of balance, I'd like you to face them head on. When we avoid, that's when we get into trouble. That's when we start getting into the shadows, and things get rougher, because our brain goes, oh, she didn't hear us. I need to get louder. And then everything, like all of the stuff, you start going into a spiral. So I want you to at least acknowledge it, that yes, it's challenging, and go, okay, how do I, why is it challenging right now? Why am I feeling out of balance? And then just try and listen to that inner voice, and listen to that inner nudge taking you down the direction to actually work through what you need to work through. Pause and reflect on the situation. How can you adapt to get back into flow while building your momentum once again? It's part of the journey. We're not always going to be like, we can't actually, you know what? I look at this as when we're going along and we're always in the light, that's great, but then we get stagnant. It's like the stream kind of like, we get complacent. That's what it is. We get complacent in that. And we don't actually want to go anywhere, because we're enjoying the light. And then all of a sudden, universe goes, you know what? we need a little bit more momentum here. And that's when the polarizing energies will come in, and they'll shake things up a little bit. They'll get the water flowing a little faster. And then we're like, oh, okay, well, the boat's rocking, what's going on? And it's just enough to get us moving again. It's getting us moving again and expanding and growing and learning to seek more, seek a deeper connection with our higher self and with universe. Manifest that which you desire. So know when to take action. So if we focus on the lack, that's what we're manifesting. We're manifesting more trouble, more struggle, more lack. If we are focusing on where we're headed, if we're focusing on, not necessarily, it's that feeling of where we want to be, how we want to feel. Sorry. The expectation of how we get there, that's different. The expectation of the expectation of how we get there really could limit us. The expectation of how it should look while it's coming to us is very much a limitation, because then we're not seeing what's possible. You know, how it may look when to receive it may look very different than we expected it to look. So it's knowing when to take action, trusting your intuition to take action and to hear those messages and then take action when you hear those messages. Knowingly trust in universe to provide that which you have been working towards in the best desired outcome for yourself. And I'm going to say that once again, because what you think is the best desired outcome for yourself may not look like the best desired outcome that universe wants for you. What if there's another lesson that you need to learn before you are ready for the full receiving of the abundance that he wants to give you? Knowingly trust in universe to provide that which you've been working towards in the best desired outcome for yourself. Relationships. Now, again, this is not because it is Valentine's month. The month has Valentine's Day. But the loving energy this month will help us with those relationships that matter most to us. Moving forward with confidence that you will be able to adapt to the situations as they flow in. You are building foundations for the relationships that are creating new opportunities. You are building foundations that are for the relationships that are creating new opportunities for you. You're learning to trust yourself and trust in others. Your trust in others will come when you learn to trust yourself, and it will be easier. Knowing when to flex your boundaries and move towards a deeper relationship. So what does that mean? It means that, some boundaries are good. We all need boundaries. We all need a limit of what we're willing to accept within a relationship, what we're willing to, how we want to, interact, how we want to be within that relationship, when to say no, when to walk away, when to give the person space, when to be there for someone else. We all have boundaries. But sometimes those boundaries, the other person has different boundaries. And we need to, and a situation may come up where you may find yourself going, this is a boundary for me, but that person has expressed that they would like a different boundary. And then you have the opportunity then to choose whether or not you would like to, if this is an opportunity to deepen your relationship with that person and to really connect with them on a different level, then maybe the choice is to flex your boundaries to come to a common understanding in some way. That is your choice. That is, but if we are set in stone that this is what we believe, this is what we value, and it is higher, that boundary has a higher value than the relationship itself, then it may cause a rift in the relationship. It may cause a strain in that relationship. Only you can decide whether or not that is an opportunity for you to flex that boundary, or if you are set in that belief, in that boundary that you want to have. Only you can decide when you need to assert your boundary or when you need to flex it. Either way, make sure that whatever you choose, you are honoring yourself and the other person in that decision. And if you do that, then you will continue to build the relationship or continue to build the foundations for your relationships going forward. Oh goodness. I'll be glad when this is over. Ooh. Okay. Health. Isn't that funny? Ironic. Health. So there are new approaches. There's some of you, or most of you, I've been getting a feeling that most of you that have been watching have been given little hints or nudges. Your inner voice has been giving you nudges towards new approaches to your emotional, mental, and physical health. Keep moving forward with those nudges. Keep taking action in the ways that you have been guided to take. You are building a strong foundation and shifting into your well-being. You are doing more self-care, and it's helping. It may not look like it now, but it is helping. It's building the foundation. As new ways are being shown to you, get curious and adjust so that if it's something that I have this routine or habit that I've been doing forever and it's been working, but then you're kind of nudged to change it up a little bit, listen to that nudge. Because what that nudge might be telling you is that you've gone complacent in some way with that routine. And you need to spice things up a little so that it's actually helping you more than before. If you've become complacent, then you can be sitting there instead of it helping you with your relaxation and your comfort and your healing. It's actually bringing you into the shadows where you're bored. You're bored with life, and you find yourself doing stuff that, or thinking about things that you don't necessarily need to think about. So just look at those fine tunings as well, because they will help you going forward and help your health and well-being in some way. Trust the intuitive guidance that you're given, and you'll be manifesting a healthier way of living as you make the changes you're guided to make. So it's not only listening to your intuition, but it's taking the action that you're being asked to take. Before I got sick, I was asked to do a yoga routine once in the morning, once at the end of my workday. And before I had done that, I found that my Achilles were very stiff, and that I was finding, because I don't really sit in a very comfortable position when I'm working at my desk. And so it had shortened my Achilles. Well, the yoga routines that I had been doing were actually helping that. And I'm finding, even though I've spent like 4 or 5 days in bed, I wasn't as stiff and full of tension as I thought I would be. I got up out of bed when I was guided to get up out of bed and do some stretches and stuff, which helped too. So it's those little things. It's those little things that help you along your journey. It's those little things that help you really take care of your own emotional, mental, and physical well-being. The pausing and reflecting before reacting is huge for your own mental health, because you're not putting yourself in a situation where you are in drama or in a reactive mode out of anger or frustration. So it helps your mental health in lots of ways. So I'm gonna jump to the next one. I'm on wealth next. So wealth is not just about your finances. It could be. There is lots of indication that there could be changes happening, like a shift in how things are handled from a financial standpoint in these messages. But for me, wealth is your overall quality of life. It's that feeling that you want to have throughout your day. And so I want you to, I was told, let yourself imagine the quality of life you would like to enjoy. Get curious about what's possible for you. Start trusting your intuition to help you move forward and build that life that you desired, that foundational security that you desire. There's a shift in the energies happening, and it will bring more harmony with it. Look within to calm yourself, and knowing you are trusting the journey one step at a time. So when you find yourself in a storm, in a dramatic situation, in a struggle, in a struggle where you're worried, there's anxiety, there's frustration, there's anger. When you find yourself in those moments, I'd like you to find a comfortable spot. And in Hygge, we call it our Hygge Crow. And the Hygge Crow is your favorite spot to go when you're comfortable and you feel safe, and you can curl up and under a blanket, light a candle, and just let the day flow away from you, flow off of you. Those comfortable moments, those comfort zones, the hygge krog. The hygge krog will help you bring you into a comfortable space so that you can now explore what is possible for you next. It allows you to go, okay, you know what, this is how I was feeling today, wasn't how I want to feel in my life. That's not the quality of life that I want to have. And so then you can go, okay, well, what can I do? What can I do to bring that quality of life back? That feeling that I want to have throughout my days back? What is possible for me? And it gives you that comfort zone, gives you the ability to listen to your intuition and hear what it's trying to tell you. You don't need to stay in the stuck muck of life. You can actually move past that by getting into that comfort zone and then going, okay, I want to explore, I want to let that stuff go, and I want to explore what's possible. I want to get closer to that quality of life that I envision, that I want to feel. And it will help guide you through. Your intuition will help guide you one step at a time. A loving self-acceptance will help you choose the opportunities that are right for you. Connect to your inner self and know what aligns with your passion. Know that you are supported always. But this month it will reveal itself in many different ways for those that are open to seeing these possibilities. We will be shown in big ways somehow. They may be not big events, but they may be like even small ways that we are supported. We are always supported. But this month there is a brand new beginning starting that is going to reveal that to more people than ever before. We just have to be willing to be open to seeing those possibilities. We need to be willing to take the blinders off to see those possibilities. Personal development. Okay, so personal development. What I'm being told is that we need to keep moving forward and adjust to situations that flow to you. You are leading the way in creating a powerful, loving relationship with yourself that is helping you to know you are supported and is helping you grow and expand along your journey. There are many shaky times. Yes, life isn't just, even. There are shaky times, but you have the tools to help you step back into your power. These moments are meant to help you expand and grow further. Leave behind what you no longer need as you move forward once again. So it is when you feel resistance to moving forward, there's something that's pulling you back. There's something that you're holding on to that you're not meant to take with you. And it may be an old belief. It may be how you see yourself. It may be thoughts of lack in your life that you're holding on to for some reason. It is that resistance, that pullback is a signal for you that you need to release. That's the stuff that's weighing you down. That's the stuff you need to sacrifice, to let go of, so that you can move forward. Leave it behind. Drop that baggage. Okay, spirituality. You are supported always, no matter what. Trust yourself to discern the energies around you. Be aware of the trickery and the illusions meant to sideline your trust in yourself and in universe. Pause and reflect and trust your intuition. Be true to you and lovingly trust the journey. You are walking each step along the way. It is discerning the energies of the people around you, of the vibe in the room. Discerning those energies is important. It's important to protect your energies. It's important to understand what's going on in the moment so that you can reflect if there's things that happened and you're now feeling weird the next morning. You can go, okay, well, maybe I could have done this and that, and oh, that's where that happened, and you can go, okay, now I know going forward that when I come into that situation again, then I can handle it a little bit better. It's a learning and growing experience. But it's also helping you discern between other energies that are not necessarily from somebody else, but they're in the ether. Okay? And as you grow and expand along your spiritual journey, you may come across, or you may be able to discern those energies a little easier. And when you are ready, you will be taught, or you will be guided where to go to get teachings on how to work around and lovingly reject the manipulation and that those energies would like to impress on you. That's what I'm getting. So what I'm talking about now is definitely aligned with what I just went through this past week, and I will be talking about this on a different video when the timing is right, but I'm not there's still puzzle pieces that are coming for me. So as of right now, those are the messages that have come through for the month of February, for the new moon cycle for February. So for those of you that are in Soul Talk membership, we will be discussing this video in deeper detail and getting your brilliant insights of how it means for your journey. Saturday, February 5th. Yes, Saturday, February 5th, we will be getting together. For those of you that are not in Soul Talk member but would like to join us, there's two options. You can become a Soul Talk member. Or the other option is that you can purchase a seat in the booking appointment for my website under group sessions, and you'll be able to join us for that as well. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you in either way. So thank you for joining me. Sorry about the weird voice. I'm still healing. For those of you who are watching, I'd like to thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being simply you. And thank you for joining me on this journey. Sending you all much love. Take care.